Now we're going to move on to Services Development, Command and Control. Please welcome Dr. Brian Hermann, Services Executive.
Well, good morning. I'm going to actually expand upon that topic just a little bit and talk a little bit about what we do in the Services Development Directorate and what we're trying to achieve in each of the portfolios. So we have three divisions. The first is Business Systems. The second, Command and Control, which is obviously the focus of what we're doing here. And the third is Enterprise-wide IT Services. Each of them has something that I think is really exciting for the entire Department of Defense. And I want to spend a few minutes talking about them. So within business systems, you can see we have things, financial things, contract administration, et cetera. What we're trying to do in this area is to modernize the way DISA operates. And that means something for our mission partners, but it also means something for you. So when we include things like contract administration, how you work with DISA, making it a smoother process for you to interact with the agency as well as to get paid. I think everybody can get excited about that topic. In the command and control area, this is an area of passion for me. We provide the common operational picture for the Department of Defense so that we can actually command and control our forces worldwide. It's a DoD unique mission capability, so it's not something that's purely adoption of a commercial service, but it is development against DoD unique requirements. In some cases, we use pieces of commercial capabilities to make that happen, and I think it's obvious in that space to see the connection to the warfighter, and that's one of the things that makes me excited about it. And then finally, the enterprise-wide IT services portfolio. I won't spend a whole lot of time talking about that because Neil Mazuranic will follow me on that topic. But if you understand what unified capabilities are and the collaborative services that we provide to the entire department so that we can do joint mission planning and conduct joint operations around the world, I think it's a really exciting area as well. Next slide. So spend a few minutes talking about that business system portfolio. So those of you, again, don't be too confused. It's not just command and control. The business systems portfolio has a lot of things in there, and I mentioned a few of them on the last slide. But if you look at the third bullet on that list there, you see order entry. So we're in the middle of an acquisition right now to modernize the storefront that DISA uses so that mission partners can actually order goods and services through DISA. And that acquisition, the source selection is ongoing in that space. And that's something that I think will affect everybody in the department and how they work with us, whether you're ordering circuits or whether you're ordering mobile devices through the agency. One of the areas in the circle that I think that's important for everybody, and frankly, not every one of these is going to result in an acquisition opportunity this year, but some of them will. And in some cases, we need your help, not just to bid on acquisitions, but we need your help in helping us understand those places where we can do things smarter in our modernization effort. And so business intelligence is one of those. You just heard a little bit about cybersecurity, and you heard about the JAIC, the AI, the ability for the department to analyze massive amounts of data and to make some decisions or make some security changes in light of that information. Well, we have the same thing in just about every part of the agency. Business systems are a good example. We need to understand, why does it take so long for the agency to hire new people? What is the state of our finances on any given day? So everybody needs a little bit of intelligence into the data that we have. And we think we ought to probably do that at a high level within the agency rather than having every program have their own business intelligence effort that's ongoing. We've put in place a capability to manage our facilities. And one of the keys that I would say in this area is that we're not looking to build the 1980s solution for how we operate. We know that a lot of things exist within the agency that have been around for a number of years. But we want to, for the most part, adopt commercial offerings to improve the way that we operate, to make it faster to deliver capabilities to the warfighter. And in order to do that, we will, jettison some of those DoD unique things that have grown up over time and move towards common SaaS offerings of capabilities that allow us to do customer relationship management and other things like that that the agency has done a little bit more haphazardly in the past. And so business systems modernization, for the most part, we're looking for you to help us understand the right direction to go versus specific opportunities right now, but there are some ongoing efforts as well. Next slide. So I mentioned this a little bit up front, but in the command and control space, we currently have 3 efforts that are ongoing. We have Global Command and Control Systems Joint, GEECS-J. We have the JPES program, and that's a joint planning and execution service. So on the left side of the screen, what you see, GEECS-J is for command and control of our forces across the world. And what we're trying to do there is modernize something. Again, this is legacy 90s capability. If you're as old as Dave Bennett, you might remember a client-server model. Well, we still have it, and we're moving that to the enterprise so that you access the command and control capability via a browser and use the network as part of the warfighting platform to do that command and control and to have visibility into it. We're also being consistently asked to add new layers to the global command and control system operational views, to include spectrum and cyber, to understand where we stand as a department worldwide on those topics as well as just personnel and warfighting capabilities. In the JPES space, this is modernization again of a legacy capability. Again, the JOPES capability is the current operational service, and JPES is moving that to a modernized enterprise offering. We will be coming out, and I'll talk to this, with an opportunity that's not listed on the chart that will be awarded this year as well. The last one on the right side is for logisticians, providing supply and information for logisticians to do their planning. That capability is actually going to be moving out of DISA towards the combatant commands. So we put in place the data brokering that they need to have all the data, and it's really up to them to decide how they want to visualize the data and get their customized reports for that capability. What excites me about this particular portfolio is the direct connection to the warfighters. So as you can see on the left-hand side, we have near constant interaction with the Joint Staff and the DoD CIO on requirements and making sure that we're delivering a capability that meets those requirements. On the right side, you see the actual users of the service. The mission partners include all of the combatant commands, all of the services, and many of the agencies in the Fourth Estate. We also use these capabilities to provide the similar options for managing the command and control of allied forces, as well as joint interaction with other coalition partners. You see some of them online. The move from a client-server kind of model to an enterprise model actually makes that a little bit more complicated. So how do we provide the same capability today, or that we do today, in the future when we're delivering an enterprise capability for the DoD is a new challenge for us, and one that we could definitely use your help on. Next slide. So this is an example. General Yi kind of gave you a more full-fledged vignette of the capability, but what this is intended to depict is that we actually take data in from all kinds of platforms across the Department of Defense to produce that overall operational picture, and we provide that to commanders, and then push the information out as well to other organizations in the Department of Defense. And in this case, the actual location of friendly forces is provided by GCCS directly to a Link 16 connection in say an F-15, F-16, F-23, whatever you want to say, F-22. All of the U.S. pilots can hit a button and find out where the nearest friendly forces are so that they can ensure that they don't drop ordnance on friendly targets. So you think you're delivering an IT capability, and what you find out is it actually matters about whether or not we have friendly force loss out in the operations of the Department of Defense. So it's an area I get excited and kind of passionate about. Next slide. Actually, one more. So I warned you up front, some of this that I'm asking about is not necessarily going to produce the actual opportunities in fiscal year 20, but I will talk about a couple that are definite in 20, and I'll talk about some other things that we're trying to do. So the first one, GCCSJ, is actually bringing together the remaining development of that enterprise capability to replace the legacy client-server command and control picture. So we've done a good bit of work on this already. We had been pursuing an OTA path. We have one that we're currently operating under to deliver the framework and data that's necessary to do the rest of this work, and this is the rest of the work. This effort will develop and sustain the capability, GCCSJ, the modernized version in the enterprise. It will be a competitive contract, full and open, coming out probably in the next few months. You could see some things out there right now. We expect to have an industry day this month to talk about that opportunity. The next one that will happen, that's not on the slide right now, is the remaining development for the modernized JPES capability. So the replacement of JOPES will follow a similar path. It will have a competitive award that happens ideally in the third quarter of this year. So I apologize that it's not on the chart, but that capability will be modernized, and the opportunity to be out there. We have much smarter and better looking people that are over at the tables to talk about that. Captain Monagle and his team are anxious to hear from you on both the JPES and GeeksJ opportunities there as well. Martha Jasper and her team likewise are over there at a table that's labeled business systems, business services. And they're doing, as I mentioned before, the storefront modernization, meaning improving the way we work with our mission partners and order capabilities. They're working HRM replacement for IT service management across the agency, and possibly something that could be delivered as an enterprise service outside of the agency. And I already mentioned business intelligence. So she's doing a lot of work in that area, and she needs your input to make sure, pardon me, to make sure that modernization approach that we're following to use commercially available SaaS where it's possible is headed down the right direction. And then the next speaker will be Neil Mazuranic, but he will talk to both the opportunities within enterprise services that we deliver to everybody in the Department of Defense, as well as the future vision for unified capabilities and what we do in that space as well. So that concludes my presentation. Any questions?
Yes, Dr. Hermann, we do have a couple questions for you. How are the biz system activities tied to the Fourth Estate?
So, good question. I know you'll hear a little bit more about the Fourth Estate and the work that's going on in there. In some cases, the capabilities that we provide as a business service for the agency or for the department is directly linked to that. If you have to be able to order the desktop services as an example for any organization within the Fourth Estate that we're going to be delivering those capabilities for. And it actually links up to enterprise services as well. So there's a whole modernization effort, and not the least of which in that space is IT service management. how we manage the IT help desk, and those activities in support of the entire Fourth Estate is changing the way we operate as well within the agency. So we have sort of this meta effort that's ongoing right now. We have to make sure that we understand whether the service is intended to support DISA alone, or if it's the entire Fourth Estate holistically. And you can make some pretty easy connections with things like ITSM. Some of the other ones, like financial management, aren't necessarily directly connected, but I think we'll see a steady march towards delivering those at a higher level, meaning business systems become more like enterprise services across the department as well as the Fourth Estate. Any other questions?
Yes. For businesses that are 3PAO, what is the DoD policy to integrate the 3PAO and C3PAO?
I apologize, I'm not familiar with C3PAO. It sounded a little bit like a Star Wars question for a second. But we do have, when we're adopting cloud services, the 3PAO process, and it may actually fall more in Roger Greenwell's lane, but getting your provisional authorization for delivering those cloud services to the department is an important part of just about everything we do, whether it's a SaaS offering or infrastructure or platform.
Thank you, Dr. Hermann.